and welcome to our Wednesdays We Wear Black with me, Sophie K, and Yasmin Suman.
Hello.
This is a news episode. We're going to catch you up on all of the happenings and what's been going on in the world of news.
All the hippity happenings. There's been a lot of hippity happenings at the moment. It's a bit much.
So our first news story, Yasmin, is quite light-hearted, in all honesty. Fans think Matty Mullins has been replaced with a clone.
As in the Matty Mullins?
Yes.
What do you mean he's been replaced with a clone?
I mean, what they've done is they've taken a photo of him when he was possibly a little bit bigger, a photo that was taken when cameras were a lot blurrier. They've put it next to a photo, which is crisp and modern, and I wouldn't be surprised if the guy has had, a bit of...
There's two things, right? I found out that a lot of rock stars use Ozempic, so there's that.
I mean, it's not that much weight loss, Yasmin.
So I just wanted to, that was a tangent that came out of my brain just then where I thought, I didn't realise a lot of them use Ozempic. Secondly, I feel bad because you know what? Maybe his weight has changed. Just from the description of the photo, it's probably taken a few years ago, people's weight fluctuates. It's like the Avril Lavigne thing. Like, she just grew up and people are like, you're a different person, you're a clone. And it's like, no, she just aged. It happens.
I wouldn't be surprised if...
Matty Mullins is not a clone.
I mean...
He's not a clone. And I love you, Matty Mullins. I said this in the nicest way possible. I feel like there's more important people that need to be cloned first before Matty Mullins. Like, I feel like there's bigger rock stars.
He's not Elvis or Tupac.
He's just not anyone of significance in the wider world. Like, don't get me wrong, no hate to Memphis Mayfire, no hate to Matty Mullins, but I just don't see how could he afford it? Like, a body double is expensive, and Memphis Mayfire, no alternative band is raking in that much money to hire a body double. Secondly, why would he need a clone? What's going on? Unless he's working for the government. Hello?
Let's also just take on board that, and I'm not saying he's had them, but fillers and Botox aren't that expensive these days.
And I personally don't care. I think people who are like, oh, this person's changed their body, so they must be a clone. No. Humans evolve, babe. That's I know you guys missed that lesson in science class, but humans change. That's how it happens.
Our next news story is about Noahfinnce.
I love you, Noahfinnce.
Who is an amazing artist. And
I love you, Noahfinnce.
Noahfinnce tweeted that he used Pantera's toilet and then took down their, Pantera's toilet sign. Which, do you know what? I don't want to get into the politics of Pantera again on this podcast. I'm tired. I've had enough of talking about it. But what I do want to talk about is how I feel like Noahfinnce hit it out of the park with Rock and Roll Rebellion, because it's naughty, it's cheeky, it's not something it's not like raping people or stuff like that. It's fun.
I know.
And I feel like too many bands in this scene have forgotten to have fucking fun. And whether you're a fan of Pantera or not,
it's stupid.
It's cheeky rebellion. It's stupid rebellion.
It's stupid and I love it.
I'm here for it.
I saw it and I was like, ee. Noah has never been afraid to speak on what he believes in, and I really love him and respect him for that, because he's the first person to get in a Twitter argument with someone, and I salute it. Unfortunately, Sophie has made me shut the fuck up on Twitter these days, but I salute it.
I have made you shut the fuck up on Twitter these days. It's different for people like us, Yasmin.
Noah is a rock star and can get away with it.
Noah is a rock star.
I will get yelled at. I will get sued.
I'm so here for it with Noah. I love Noah. One of the biggest news stories that everyone's talking about is the fact at Pink Pop, Limp Bizkit played with Ed Sheeran.
No!
With Ed Sheeran. What? Imagine watching Limp Bizkit and Ed Sheeran comes out. You just lose your mind.
Club isn't the place based to find a lover, so the pub is where I hate to say this because I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I can't stand Ed Sheeran.
You're such a hater, Yasmin.
I am
a hater. I kind of like that he's doing albums. Do you think he's trying to get a bit more edgy, and that's why they're like, we'll get him with Offspring, we'll get him with Limp Bizkit, we'll get him with Cradle of Filth. They're just trying to give him a bit of...
I think he's bored. I think he's bored. I think he has cashed in his money into pop, and now he's like, okay, I can make as much money as I feasibly want from pop. I can be a billionaire from pop. Let me just have fun at this point. He's got nothing else to do. He could literally wake up tomorrow, write a pop hit, and then go to sleep. But I think he's just bored. And I respect it. I think he's like, let me go hang out with these fucking grebos. Hell yeah, brother. Hell, he'll definitely go like, hell yeah, brother. I'm rock and roll.
And stick his thumb out when he does the devil horns. Limp Bizkit also played at Download Festival, and Andy Copping has said that he is ready for Limp Bizkit to be a headliner because the crowd was so big. So Limp Bizkit are ready to be a festival headliner, which is pretty huge.
How have they not headlined Download before?
I don't think even Korn have headlined Download Festival before, Yasmin. Korn and Limp Bizkit were big bands, but they weren't headliner status.
That's insane.
Like, think about it. Download Festival didn't start until 2003, and so by 2004 or 5, should I say, nu metal was dying. It was done.
That's crazy.
So you wouldn't those guys wouldn't be headliners because nu metal was gone.
That's crazy. I need to say something, and this is just a personal opinion, and it's no hate to Avenged Sevenfold. I left after Limp Bizkit. Avenged Sevenfold weren't that good. Limp Bizkit were better.
I didn't watch Limp Bizkit. I watched 3 songs and I was like, this is good, but I'm not losing my mind. So I walked over to see Corey Taylor, and it was the best decision I made because Corey Taylor played like Slipknot songs, and it was one of the best sets I've seen because you could a lot of people were at Limp Bizkit, and Corey Taylor was sounding amazing even though he wasn't very well, and I got to see Duality and Wait and Bleed up close, and it was a dream come true. Even though I've stood side stage with them, every time I see anything from Slipknot-y world, it's a dream come true. So they played a great set.
I like that we went different ways, because I saw Corey Taylor first and I was like, oh, this is cool, and then I was like, oh my god, Limp Bizkit is playing. I put my red snapback on and I was like, let's fucking go. It was really silly. I loved it though.
Wait, you went at Corey?
I was.
When?
I passed it in the back.
Oh, so you were at the back?
Yeah, I was at the back. I was walking past and I kind of stopped for a song.
Oh.
Yeah, I was there.
Okay. I didn't see you.
I was there, and then I went to go see Limp Bizkit.
You should have stayed. It got better and better and better. Limp Bizkit were all right.
You did Corey, I did Limp Bizkit. I hated that clash. That clash was awful.
And it wasn't supposed to be a clash. It only clashed because there was some issues, so the stage times got moved.
Broke my heart.
It was supposed to be like a bit... Oh, yeah. Anyway, Corey absolutely smashed it.
As always. It was a
great set. And Limp Bizkit were great. It was fun.
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't as into Limp Bizkit back in the day.
Fucking loved it. It was great. I left straight after. Well, I watched a bit of Avenged and went, this is lame, and then left.
Well, you're not really Avenged Sevenfold age, are you?
It just wasn't. I expected better stage production. No offense, Avenged Sevenfold, but after watching Fall Out Boy, where Pete Wentz was in the fucking sky, I was like, okay, come on, Avenged, close Download on a high note, and it just felt like mid.
I think what was really exciting is because a lot of people really enjoyed Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh yeah.
I think the band that a lot of people seemed to let down by were Queens of the Stone Age, because that was a pretty straight up set. But Fall Out Boy, the metalheads were... It's like Fall Out Boy came out swinging, and they played on the best sets I've ever seen. Their set at Download Festival was...
It was insane.
Unbelievable.
Them and Busted genuinely were some of my favourite performances of the weekend.
Did you make it into the tent?
Busted should
no
have
one
been
could get in.
Laura, my partner, fought their way in. Fought
yes,
tooth and nail.
Laura.
And was like, get me in the pit. I was like, okay,
amazing.
Honey, have fun. I went, have fun, turned around and walked away. But Laura got me some I heard it from... as far as I could see. They shouldn't have been in a tent.
And our final news story is a sad one, because throughout the history, for anyone who remembers, Shifty Shellshock from Crazy Town has struggled with addiction, and it was announced yesterday that he had passed away at the age of 49. In fact, it was, the day before yesterday, it was 24th, and he was found.
That's so sad. You mean Crazy Town, who did Butterfly, right?
Yeah, and it's so sad because...
Isn't he the singer?
Yeah, he's the singer.
Okay.
We saw him, he was on a TV series called Celebrity Rehab, series 1 and 2. He went on Sober House, season 1 and 2. He has really struggled, and we followed that journey, and it's just, we don't know how he passed away. We don't know if it was related to addiction.
But he's not had an easy life, and I feel quite bad.
Yeah.
So R.I.P. That's a shame. He like, that song is forever like implanted in my brain now.
I think it's sad that addiction, we still don't know how to deal with addiction in society. Like, if you don't drink, it's like, oh, what's wrong with you? If you drink too much, it's, oh, what's wrong with you? And it's wild the way addiction is treated in society, because whatever we're doing for addiction, whether that's in the UK, whether that's in America, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sending people to prison and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't work.
No, I agree. I feel like in alternative music as well, because of straight edge culture, people can be so judgmental. If you are like an alcoholic or you're addicted to drugs, people are like, fuck you should die. And it's like, well, actually, let's not treat drug addicts like that, because it's not their fault that they're addicted to drugs. Like,
when is it going to change? When is society going to change and stop judging these people? Our love and thoughts go out to Shifty, Shellshock's nearest and dearest. So let's move on to releases, Yasmin, because there's been quite a lot of releases, and I guess it's everyone announcing tours and festival season.
There's been a lot, so I'm going to list some, and then you can interject. There's Little Peep, Suck My Blood, which was obviously released post his death by his family, who I think last time I read, they acquired the rights to his music to release it, so they've started to release that now. Slay. Poppy put New Way out. Fever put out New West Order.
Can we just talk about that? I mean, Fever, that's a big move for Fever, because it's a single with the current lineup. The other guys in the band are doing another project.
Yep.
And it's good to see Fever releasing new music, but also it has a bit of a different vibe to it. More of a rap vibe with this one.
I know, it's angry. I love it. I love it. Paris and Lights released This Blob. Hailstorm and I Prevail collabed on Can You See Me in the Dark. Ayesha Erotica released House Party. Hell Hotel released Jennifer's Body. And Halsey released The End and announced that they were battling with leukemia, which is really horrible, and like very, you can hear it kind of in the music. It's really sad. Fucking hell, it's an intense few weeks.
Has been. And also on top of that, we had Wage War with Blur, we had Funeral Portrait with Ice Nine Kills Spencer Charnas with Suffocate City. Blink 182 on the first day of their tour played a new track, Unheard Track, Can't Go Back. But also film wise, we had Ghost with Right Here, Right Now. And they also gave us the track The Future is a Foreign Land. And on top of that, Nickelback have announced that their film, their documentary, Hate to Love, is going to be on Netflix as of today.
Oh my gosh.
So if you haven't seen that, that's another one to watch as well. I love that so many bands are doing films.
Also, just to correct myself, because I'm an idiot, Halsey has lupus, not leukemia. I got my L's mixed up there. Yeah, lupus, as they wrote on their Instagram on the 5th of June. Yeah, it has been quite an interesting and crazy and intense and emotional time for music and musicians.
It has. It really, really has. So, Yasmin, let's go on to social media, because a lot of the news crossed over with social media this week. So you have got a lot of the bigger stories, because it's been big.
Can we please talk about Dave Grohl and Taylor Swift beefing it out? Beefing it out. I want to say this firstly. I love Dave Grohl. I love Foo Fighters. I have a lot of love in my heart for Dave Grohl. I think he is one of the best musicians of our time. That's probably a really controversial take, but I stand by it. He's a very talented musician, and I also
no one would argue with that.
I also think he has amazing morals. People would argue with it, and people have been arguing about it. So basically, Dave Grohl, this is reported by The Independent, right? Dave Grohl suggested that Taylor Swift doesn't play live at her Eras tour. So the Foo Fighters frontman 55 told an audience at his concert in London on Saturday 22nd of June that he called his band the Eras tour because they had a few more errors and a few more fucking errors, because we actually play live.
He said eras and errors.
Eras and errors.
Errors and errors.
All the eras and errors, yes. He had a lot of fucking errors because they actually play live. So then...
And it's because Taylor Swift was doing a gig on the same night as Foo Fighters.
Yes, and then people online have been ruthless. Swifties scare the shit out of me. A lot of them are tweeting like, well, who's Dave Grohl? Like, who even cares about Dave Grohl? Taylor Swift is a multi-millionaire, billionaire who's like selling out arenas.
I mean,
and it's like,
these people are still wearing their Nirvana t-shirts, but okay, go on.
I know, I love it. I love it to see Swifties wearing Nirvana shirts being like, who the fuck is Dave Grohl?
I know.
Also, there were people bringing Kurt Cobain and Taylor Hawkins up, which was Too far.
What?
Completely too far.
Did they really?
Yeah, a lot of people were saying, well, Kurt would disagree with this, and it's like, if you think Kurt would stand up for a billionaire, you are absolutely
Get in the fucking bin.
insane.
Like, how are you going to tell?
Kurt Cobain would be standing up for the billionaires, yeah.
How are you going to tell Dave Grohl, one of Kurt Cobain's best friends in the world, how are you going to tell him what Kurt Cobain would have thought? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Get in the fucking bin!
I know. And then also, this leads back to a few months ago, Violet Grohl, which is Dave Grohl's daughter, tweeted about essentially something along the lines of, why can't Taylor Swift just drive like everyone else? Because if you don't know, there's some controversy around Taylor Swift and her use of private jets. Violet got death threats. Violet was harassed. And I completely understand why Dave Grohl would make a funny jab at Taylor Swift, considering his own daughter was violently harassed online just for saying something that I think is quite true. Why does Taylor Swift need to constantly use private jets?
And as well, like, let's not forget how much Dave Grohl bigged up Billie Eilish. He's not the kind of guy just to pick on pop because it's pop. He was a big champion for Billie Eilish in her early days.
Do you know what it's giving? It's giving, won't someone think of the billionaires? Oh, won't someone think of the billionaire? She's just a girl who could buy you, own you, and destroy you. She's just a girl. Like, no, she's a billionaire. She's a 30-something billionaire. She would spit on you if she saw you in the street. She would.
Why would you say those things, Yasmin? We've just seen how Swifties come for people. But she replied, and didn't she make fun about the fact that she's doing a live show?
I didn't see her reply because I don't care what she thinks or says.
Yeah, she did. I like Taylor Swift. I don't like Swifties.
I'm a passionate Taylor Swift hater. It's a real shame because all of my friends are Taylor Swift fans, and I'm like, I conflate, and this is going to sound horrible, I'm really sorry, I conflate Taylor Swift fans and Disney adults as to one person, and it makes a lot of sense. We hate Disney adults.
I don't hate Taylor Swift. I don't care about Taylor Swift enough. But to hate Taylor Swift. At the end of the day, Dave was just making a passing joke. It's been taken way too seriously. And the fact of the matter is, she doesn't play live. She sings live.
She sings live, but she doesn't play live.
But she doesn't play. She's not playing instruments.
No.
So she's not playing. And I guess what Dave was talking about was about being in a band. Swifties are wild. They need to get over themselves.
Wild. But however, two women in the music industry that I fucking love that came together. Did you see Megan Thee Stallion, Courtney LaPlan finally meeting on camera, and Megan's like, I didn't expect to see you here, and Courtney's like, Megan, of course I'm here. It's Megan Thee Stallion. I love you. I love how much Courtney LaPlan loves Megan Thee Stallion. I aspire to love myself the way that Courtney LaPlan loves Megan Thee Stallion. Like, she is so, I love her so much because she literally went, I really love this artist, I'm going to work with them. And they did.
Good for her. I know. I love to see people meeting. I love seeing musicians being excited about meeting other musicians.
I know.
It's so wholesome.
It's so wholesome. It reminds you, I think people, especially when you're on the internet, they don't really realise that musicians are people, which sounds like an insane thing to say because, of course, musicians are people. But, like, I think it's nice to see musicians fangirling over other musicians. It shows that they are just fans like us. And then the last thing, and I'm going to let you take the wheel on this, because I don't feel educated, nor do I feel like the correct person to speak on this. Did you see the stuff with David from Disturbed?
Do you know what? This really upset me, Yasmin.
It upset me.
Like, it deeply... There's social media activism, and then there's things that, like, genuinely upset me. Reports across social media, from Rocked to Rock Feed, different podcasts. Interestingly, no news outlets have been reporting that David Draiman signed bombs in Israel, posted it on his social media page, and then removed it.
There is a photo going around.
I didn't see it on his social media, so I cannot confirm that this 100% happened, but people are talking about it all over the internet.
It's sad because
if this did happen, it's really sad.
It's very disappointing because, and let me just say this, if it did happen in the name of advocating for peace and ceasefire, don't sign a bomb.
But he's not advocating for that, Yasmin. He's been quite clear across his socials of what his stance is, and I think it's dividing a lot of people.
It's a shame. It is a shame because, like, it's one thing to say something on the internet and then it's another thing to go and sign a bomb, because you can delete the post, but you can't unsign a bomb.
I think
The bomb still hit. Allegedly.
Should I tell you why it makes me sad? Is because I thought that most people were in agreement that the death of innocent civilians
It's bad.
is bad, and it's sad.
Like, regardless of what you think.
Regardless of what you believe, what religion, whatever, it's sad that people are dying.
Killing people is bad. It's bad.
People died on don't throw dates, because this has been going on for years and years and years. I'm not educated enough to speak on this, but what I will say is it makes me sad to see musicians getting so involved. Like, I'm all for musicians talking about politics, but I don't know, this feels really it's quite painful.
Disappointing. It's disappointing. It's one thing to post something on socials and share your opinion. It's another thing to allegedly go out of your way to essentially sign a bomb that is going to kill children and families.
Yeah, there's a difference between trying to educate people or like trying to talk about the matters behind it and celebrating death. There just feels like there's a big difference. But we're not 100% sure it happened because we can't find that post now, so we're not sure this is just being reported. So as far as we know, that's what's going on. So last social media story, Yasmin.
Oh my god, Download. Food poisoning. Download was messy this year, bro. I mean, I love Download, and we did get a lot of questions about why we didn't perform this year. We're just really busy. I got a book coming out, girl. I got stuff to do.
And Download tend to have a tendency where like people do 1 year on, 1 year off. Like they like to rotate it, so they're not having the same people every single year. So I'm sure we'll play it again in the future.
Yeah, but it's busy for us. It was busy.
We were too busy.
I was running around going, please buy my book.
In the mud.
In the mud. It was, right, so it was muddy. For people who've never been to Download Festival before, it's like one of the biggest rock and metal festivals in the UK. And it is on an extremely muddy field. So like it was torrential rain, mud. People were getting stuck in the mud. There was, oh my God. The biggest thing was food poisoning.
The Americans picked up on this a lot, didn't they?
I know.
And I think it's because of Ridge Rock Festival and how huge that was in America. And ours was big, but it's not going to make us not go to the festival. Let's just say we love Download too much. It was like, yeah, I was shitting my brains out. Are you going next year? Hell yeah, of course. Why not?
I hope it doesn't rain. Like, that's the only thing that would put me off going to Download is the rain, but it rains all the time in the UK. Like, it's a given. So the food poisoning was bad. Shout out to Stu from Face Down, who I know listens to this podcast. Hey, Stu. Poor Stu. This guy. I woke up in the morning and saw a post on the Downloads on Facebook. They've got like different groups for festivals. So there was a Download Facebook group that I'm a part of, and I saw a post from poor Stu, a piece of his chicken that he got from a food vendor called Munchbox, where he'd taken a bite into it, and it was red. It wasn't even pink. It was bloody red on the inside.
I asked if he got food poisoning, and I was told he spat it out straight away, so he was okay.
God bless you, Stu. God bless you.
He didn't actually get food poisoning.
But like the fact that it was raw enough that you could see the blood. Like that chicken wasn't even cooked. It was like it saw the grill, and that's all. Like it
was disgusting.
It was gross. And also there were reports of people getting food poisoning from the Yorkshire pudding wrap place. I can confirm it gave me the shits. There were a few food vendor places that just really fucked people up this year, and like any other year would have been fine. Don't fuck people up when it's already muddy. The toilet situation was dire.
So I think, look, I just want to say it wasn't Download's fault.
God, no.
And I know the difference is with Ridge Rock Festival, wasn't there an issue with the water supply? And I don't know whether I'm talking out of turn here, and it might be a wrong fact, but that was their water supply. Whereas with Download, it was the food vendors, and they can't.
They're individual suppliers, yeah.
Like, what can they do? I didn't get food poisoning. I think that would be a wild exaggeration. I got a bit of diarrhea. I got the runs a bit, and I ate from a place that was like loaded fries.
I also ate there.
And you also ate there, so that's probably where you got it from as well. But I picked that place because it had a 5 hygiene rating, which is the maximum hygiene rating you can have. And so what else can Download do? So I don't blame Download. I blame the food vendors and the mud.
But then also once Download were made aware, because from what I gather, Download were made aware of Munchbox, They were removed immediately.
Immediately.
Like, told to pack up and go home.
To be honest, I wonder whether, because I know that the Ridge Rock one was actually quite serious and people had like long-term sickness. I don't know how people are doing after download, but do you know what I bet a big part of it is? And someone said this to me, and the way I sicked in my mouth, Yasmin, and I can't think about it anymore. That is going to make me sick because I get really weirded out about germs. Next year for Download Festival, I am going to take my own knife and fork. Let me tell you why. Because you go and get the food and then you grab one of those wooden forks, right, off the thing. How many people who have shit themselves, wiped their bum hole, they haven't washed their hands, they've just like wiped them on their trousers, and then they've grabbed a fork, and you can't just grab one, you touch them all before you grab one, right? Because that's how it just works. And so they grab a fork, they've touched your fork with their bumhole hands, and then you eat with that fork. That is why a lot of us were getting the shits, I think.
I bring my own straws to festivals. I have a little Hello Kitty straw that's collectible.
A straw?
Yeah, because I feel like as well, they have like...
What about cutlery?
Well, I'm going to bring cutlery next year, but like, yeah, it was. I bring my own straw because it's like, I don't trust people when they give me a straw.
Aren't they in paper wrapping straws normally?
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay.
They're just in like a little...
I'm just thinking of Burger King. Yeah, it was unfortunate, but I love how British people deal with it, where they were like, they don't really care.
No.
It was muddy, and they're like, yeah, it's just what happens at Download Festival. It's a festival in a field. It's what goes on. You get the shits. So you have to traipse through mud. People
I think we were quite lucky that we could just go home at any point, Sophie. We could just go to the guest car park and go home.
Yeah, we were... Well, we're in a privileged situation. I think if we were camping, we might be telling a different story.
Me and Laura tried to camp. We camped the first night, and then the rain was so bad that we were like, it's not worth risking us getting hurt. So we packed up our stuff and just drove every other day. And by the time, like by Sunday, our campsite where we were camped was flooded. So I was like, I'm glad we...
Getting hurt? You're just bougie. You just live around the corner and you're bougie. Just admit it, Yasmin. You are bougie. You felt too good to be camping in the rain because you can't look cute when you're drowned in water and mud.
And what about it?
So, Yasmin, what are your words of wisdom for this week's news?
My words of wisdom are, if you're in a band, please stop sharing your opinions on social media. Just shut the fuck up, make good music, and live your life. I promise you, it will make you more money. If you just shut up, you'll make so much more money. Just shut up!
If you're referring to the band, I think you're referring to Yasmin. I think they've made enough money already.
Just shut up.
They're one of the biggest rock bands in the world.
No,
but...
I'm talking about other bands, okay? I'm tired of seeing bands getting cancelled for tweeting or liking stupid stuff. Just shut up! Just log out! I'm begging you, make a burner account!
My words of wisdom this week are... never touch the cutlery.
Yeah.
That's it if you want to get in touch with us. How do you do that, Yasmin?
WeWereBlackPod@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on social media at WeWereBlackPod. I'm at Yasmin Seaman X on everything except Instagram.
For me, it's at I am Sophie K. So we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.